What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? So the Cavs made a lot of interesting moves this offseason. The Cavs made a lot of interesting moves this offseason that I want to get into. And we did not trade Darius Garland. Now, I know some Cavs fans wanted Darius Garland. Some Cavs fans were worried about if we were going to trade Darius Garland and um, if we were going to trade, if we, if Donovan Mitchell was going to leave. I mean, if Donovan Mitchell was going to leave, some, I know people were curious. Some people were curious that are Cavs fans that thought was when Darius Garland was in trade rumors that we were going to trade him, and when Donovan Mitchell was in his ascension deal contract, um, thought that we were going to lose Donovan Mitchell. I'm going to say this. I'm glad that we didn't trade. I'm glad we didn't trade Darius Garland. I'm glad that we didn't trade Darius Garland. Or I'm glad that we re-signed Don Mitchell, and I'm glad that we re-signed Mobley and Allen. Now, now, what does this mean for the Cavs going forward? Keeping keeping Darius Garland, keeping Darius Garland, keeping Don Mitchell, keeping Mobley, and keeping Jarrett Allen. That's your four core that you're building around right now. That's your four core that you're building around. And I think keeping those guys as a from a Cats fan standpoint, we really needed to run it back because Don Mitchell likes to be with the Cavs. Don Mitchell likes being a Cleveland Cavalier. Jarrett Allen likes being a Cavalier. Um, Mobley likes being a Cavalier. Um, Darius Garland likes being a Cavalier. So all four of these say that I want to be a Cavalier. I want to be a Cavalier. If all four of these guys are saying I want to be in Cleveland, I want to be a Cavalier. Now, Jared Allen just signed. Jared Allen just signed a 3-year, $91 million deal. Which is this for? For? Is this for core Jared Allen, Mobley, and Darius Darius Garland and Don Mitchell going to be here for years to come? I would say yes. I would say yes. Some other some people will say, well, well, I don't think. Some people will say, well, I don't think Jared Allen's going to be there because Mobley can play a little bit of the five. We saw Mobley this past year against Boston and against the Magic him play the five. And I'm going to say this now with Jared Allen resigned for a 3-year, $91 million deal. That's that's very interesting. That's very interesting to me because now we got Jared Allen for 3 more years, and we can win a championship here. We can win a championship here. The thing is the thing is that is that there were like there were trades that the Cavs were the Cavs were going to make a move for, and like Brandon Ingram, the Cavs were going to make a move for Brandon Ingram. You can't trade now that Mobley signed that 3 year 90. You can't trade now Jarrett Allen re-signing that 3 year $91 million deal. You can't trade Jarrett Allen now that he signed that 3 year $91 deal until February 7th. But but I can see, like, before Jarrett Allen made this resign, like you should resign his deal that he got. There were there were moves that I thought the Cavs were going to make, like probably trading for, probably like there were like trade rumors going on, like probably trading for Brandon Ingram, probably for Dauris Smith, um, probably for Cam for Cameron Reddish. Like there were those moves that I thought the Cavs were going to make. Those moves that I thought the Cavs were going to make were we we can still make a move like that. We can still make a move like that. The only thing is that Isaiah Coral, we really don't know what Isaiah Coral is going to do because he's still in free agency, and there are we can either resign Isaiah Coral and trade him for like a Brandon Ingram or a Dorian Smith or like a a a Cam Johnson. Like we still could get one of those guys. We still could get one of those guys. Because when you look at it, we really don't know what Isaiah Coral is going to do. We really don't know if he's going to resign or not resign. If we do resign Isaiah Coral, we can make one of those moves, like get a Brandon, trade for a Brandon Ingram, trade for a Cam Johnson, trade for a Dorius Smith. Like we could make those kind of moves. Now, is this a championship team? Yes, I do think the Cavs can still win a championship team, can win a championship. The last time we the last time we did the last time we had a champion the last time we won a championship was back in 2016. Was back in 2016 when we had Bron. But but I do think with the way that the Cavs made moves this offseason by re-signing Don Mitchell, by re-signing Don Mitchell, by re-signing Don Mitchell, by not trading Garland, by not by re-signing by re-signing Mobley, by re-signing Jarrett Allen. Now is moves that we had to make because now that the off season is done, now that the off season is done, like what is Isaiah Coral going to do? What is Isaiah Coral going to do? Like that's the one big name that that's the that's like one of the names in free agency. Will he sign back with the Cavs? We still don't know. As Cavs fans, we would really like to have Isaiah Coral back, but if if he doesn't resign, we would have to wait till February 6th to like February 6th or February seven to like make a trade. But I do see this Jared Allen, Jared, Jared Allen, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and Mobley staying together for the near future and winning a championship. Like, like it's like when we look at the East is tough now because you have Paul George, you have Embiid, you have Tatum, Jalen Brown. When we look at the East is stacked now. The East a couple of years wasn't the East that wasn't the East Conference that we see now. The East that we see now wasn't the East that we see that we saw in the last couple of years. The East Conference is tough because you got Brooklyn, you got the Knicks, you got Brooklyn, you got you got the Sixers, Boston, Miami, and we all know that when Kenny Atkinson was coaching the Brooklyn Nets, wanted to start he wanted to start Jared Allen over DeAndre Jordan in Brooklyn, and Brooklyn said no to that. So said no to starting Jared Allen over DeAndre Jordan. So I can say this is going to be an interesting Cavaliers season, and I'm excited about this season as well because now that we got the core four back, like we are going to make the playoffs. We are going to make the playoffs. We are going to win a championship with this core four. I know other people have their own opinions about what the Cavs are going to do, but I think the Cavs are going to make the playoffs, are going to win a championship here, are going to win a championship. But guys, sub if you're new and never give up your dreams. And I hope all of you guys are safe out there and stay blessed, everybody. And peace.